We are surrounded by more data and processing power than any generation before us. We have built vast arrays of technology and assembled highly specialized experts to solve every major crisis on the horizon. Yet, even when the most brilliant minds design these top-down solutions, the results often fall apart once they are implemented. The perfect models constructed in high-level discussions frequently fail to survive contact with reality. These failures point to a specific disconnect in how we value human ability. We operate as if high-level intelligence is the ultimate goal, ignoring the fact that there is no straight line between being smart and being wise. This creates a condition known as the arrogance of the intellect. When someone views the world strictly through creative ideas and abstract theories, they can become profoundly unbalanced, mistaking their academic success for a total understanding of life. Friedrich Nietzsche once illustrated this through a character in Thus Spake Zarathustra, a midget with a giant mouth. It is a striking metaphor for the modern intellectual, someone with a hyper-activated mind, but a stunted, underdeveloped character. When raw intelligence is divorced from character, it creates a massive blind spot. The resulting systems look perfect on a whiteboard, but collapse because they were never designed to respect the complexities of human nature. This blind spot translates into a broader societal divide, where intellectual silos begin to breed contempt for anyone working outside of them. When experts and elites dismiss working-class populations as stupid or beneath them, they aren't just being arrogant, they are actively destroying the trust required for a civil state to function. This is visible in the current political climate of the United States. Dismissing 50% of the population with contempt makes for a convenient narrative in intellectual circles, but it offers no path toward a stable, unified society. This same top-down arrogance frequently undermines environmental policy. Many sustainability projects pushed by the elite are designed without any input from the families who actually live in those communities. Often, these projects result in gentrification. Older homes with yards and trees are swept away to make room for high-cost, zero-lot line structures. The planners call it sustainable, even though it displaces the very people it was supposed to support. A solution is only sustainable if it accounts for the people on the ground. When policy ignores the lived reality of a community, it ceases to be progress and instead becomes another form of displacement. Finding a way forward requires us to look at a factor that rarely appears in an intellectual spreadsheet, and the need for respect and standing. Conservation research uncovered a stark reality. While we focus on biological data, environmental problem-solving actually depends 5% on ecology and 95% on psychology. And this psychological majority is driven by human dignity, our need to feel capable, care for our families, and be valued. We see the consequences of ignoring this need in the poaching crisis. Despite the ecological catastrophe it causes, young men continue to slaughter magnificent animals like the Asian elephant. They do this because they have been convinced that poaching is the only way to lift themselves up. When a community feels it has no other path to respect, they will commit terrible acts just to bolster their stature. Destructive choices are often a desperate attempt to reclaim the dignity that the top-down systems have stripped away. If we want to save the environment, we first have to attend to the people living within it. In the Garo Hills of northeast India, conservation researchers tested what happens when you prioritize this psychological need. The region is among the most biodiverse places on Earth, and protecting it required a radical shift in strategy. Instead of relying on outside specialists, the project recruited local young men to build the field team. They weren't just hired as manual labor, they were trained to be the primary collectors of scientific data. These men learned to manage transects, cook in the field, and maintain meticulous notes, all while earning a fair and decent wage. Over time, the nature of their relationship with the land changed. They began returning to their villages with pride, sharing what they were learning and explaining the value of the information they were gathering. By giving these men a role that commanded respect, the researchers transformed a scientific study into a collective community mission. The population became the primary guardians of their own future. This approach led to a landmark result. 300 representatives from across the region voted unanimously to pursue a UNESCO World Heritage Site to protect their land in perpetuity. Solving these massive crises requires the intellectual elite to finally abandon their sense of moral superiority. Brilliance is not a substitute for respect. We must remember that the entire edifice of our culture rests on the labor of working-class people. Their dignity is not a secondary concern. It is the foundation of everything we build. Raw intelligence is a tool, but it is practically useless without the wisdom to honor human nature and local realities. Sustainability is not a technical problem we can solve with data alone. It is the outcome of a society that chooses to start with dignity. Protect the dignity of the person, and the protection of nature will follow.